Pro League, T-Squared, and Ryu hanging out at the Xfinity Zone. We're going to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, SanDisk, for making this season so awesome. We really appreciate the continued support. Also, Intel Extreme Masters. It's going down next month, November 19th and 20th. So join us at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, California for some stadium-level competition in CSGO and League of Legends. For more information on that, IamOakland.com is your destination. But Ryu, we're talking about Team Liquid going up against Immortals, and Team Liquid, everyone familiar with their roster. And they also take a while to get into the lobby, apparently.
Yeah, they definitely slow-moving team. No surprises here. Hiko, Pimp, Nitro, JDM, and Elige. I would say the only real surprise with this roster is how slow of a start they got to the season. They gave up a lot of wins that they were expected to secure early on. And yeah, it was an 0-6 start. Very, very slow out of the gate. And now they're going to have to play some tough matches to be able to get to the Brazil final.
Yep, and their competition, that is going to be the Immortals. Henny, Lucas, Phelps, Bolts, and Zeus. Now, we haven't seen Immortals we were talking about. It's been about 5 or 6 match days now, so it's been a while since we've seen them play. Where do you think these guys are gonna be at?
I think they do a good job of kind of like showing up to all their matches in terms of A, showing up on time, and B, they're always prepared. They seem to be very disciplined. I know that they put in a lot of work. They study their demos, so I'm expecting we'll see a quality Immortals showing. Sometimes they get off to a little bit of slow start. I think Zeus specifically sometimes struggles, but on a map like this, he'll probably have the Mag 7 a lot, which I joked with him is like his best gun. He's probably, if there was a statistic that could track the number of players that use a Mag 7 that get a kill each time they pull the trigger of the gun, he would probably be towards the top of the list because he's just got really good crosshair placement and he seems to really enjoy using the weapon. And on a map like Train, he'll probably be inner, he'll get close up, maybe he'll play ladder. And so, yeah, I don't think we'll see a slow start from them tonight. And they know how important this match is this late in the season. I think we'll see them in fine shape.
So 7 out of 10 players in the lobby so far. Feel free to tweet Team Liquid and tell them to get into the lobby. Use that hashtag ESL Pro League, obviously. But let's talk a little bit about the teams that went to ESL 1. Obviously, Team Liquid had a really good showing, especially based on their performance here in the Pro League. Now, the question is, as we saw it yesterday with Optic Gaming, didn't seem to be too jet-lagged or anything like that. Team Liquid, do you think they're probably in the same boat with those guys?
Yeah, I think so. They also had an extra day to rest and recover and kind of get back into the swing of things. So I don't know that that's going to make too much of an impact on this at all. If anything, it probably just gave Immortals more stuff that they could study in the time off to just be that much more prepared for the match tonight.
Now, where do you think Immortals stands in terms of, international competition? Because we've seen Team Liquid do pretty solid. Now, where does Immortals stand? Obviously not nearly as a quote-unquote LAN team as Team Liquid, but do you think that they are superior online compared to that, or do you think that they would have a similar performance if they went to a major?
So that's the thing, right? They haven't been able to take that next step to get to a major. Anytime that they've had that opportunity, they've got a couple of event wins, but never been able to qualify and actually get to a major. So this next one that's coming up in a few months, I think the qualifier might be November, December. That's going to really be their opportunity to shine and to show everybody that they are a LAN team. I definitely think that they're in top 10 in the world right now, just overall. They tend to be pretty close online and on LAN. I don't think there's a huge drop-off one or the other like we do see with Team Liquid.
All right, guys, the match is going to get underway shortly, but to break things down a little bit further, we're going to toss this on over to the casters. We got everyone's favorite duo. It's Blaze.
Thanks very much, guys, and we are getting prepped to jump into this match. Still waiting for a couple of members of Team Liquid to jump into the server, however, so it's going to be a few extra minutes. We do apologize for that, of course, but while we are waiting, we've got Daze here to talk a little bit more about the match that's coming up. Again, just to elaborate a little bit more on your thoughts as we go into this match, you were saying earlier that Liquid not really looking as strong online. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, when this team first started going to LANs, I'll give you a stat. They played against NIP in about 4 maps on LAN, and they didn't even get 15 rounds total. So they've come such a long way from that, right? Now we see them continually go to LANs. They beat Navi on Cobble, for instance. They beat Fnatic on Dust 2 twice, and no team walks over them. They play everybody very, very well. And they're a really tough opponent on LAN. So a complete 180 from where they were about a year, maybe a year and a half ago to where they are now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for the Immortals, I think the analysis does make a really good point. It's almost like the opposite for them. They always show up in like these online leagues, and even at like the smaller to medium-sized LAN events, they usually come out at the top, and they're almost always winning it. But it's actually like qualifying to get into like those really huge events, whether it was ESL 1 New York last weekend or trying to get them into the major, that they always seem to fall short a little bit there, whether it's nerves or just something else that seems to not click with those guys. They always seem to lose their strength right as they're about to get into one of those big events.
And I think they're getting a lot better at that. Every time I see Immortals play, I'm seeing more and more consistency out of them. I think Zeus has brought Zeus has brought much more to their team than I would have even thought. I think the amount of preparation that he's brought to them, coming from SK and understanding really what it takes to win, right? From SK and bringing that to Immortals has elevated them to a level that I honestly didn't see. I didn't see them being this good, but they are like scary good. They're a lot like Liquid, where no team is gonna just run them over.
Yeah.
I think Immortals could beat any team out there. I think they could beat Navi. I think they could beat SK. I think they could beat anybody. And the thing about them is, their map pool is actually really, really good versus Liquid. Liquid, very, very strong Dust 2 team, very, very strong Cobble team. All the other maps in the pool, I don't think they're nearly as strong on. Now, Immortals, they play Overpass really well. They play, Mirage pretty well. They play Train well. So they have all these maps that they could play, and they've usually vetoed Dust 2, I believe, and they also, probably vetoed Cobble against them. So the map pool very favors Immortals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, one player specifically to highlight on the Immortals, just how well he's done, is actually Zeus. From an individual basis, too, he comes onto this team. A lot of people are thinking, like, oh, he's probably going to end up doing pretty poorly since, he just all of a sudden comes back in. He's only really had, like, experience in rank S and whatnot. But he actually, almost right from the beginning of it, does extremely well as an individual and starts impacting. Has actually proven to be one of the more impactful players over the course of the season.
Oh, absolutely. And I think not only is he very impactful, but he makes everybody around him better. Opting to drop guns and use a Mag 7 and play all these positions where he's still going to be effective with a $2,500 buy. He's going to throw great smokes and flashes for his teammates. He's honestly a lot similar to like we watch NRG all the time, right? And Gabi and Legia, they have all those smokes and flashes that they know. But then I think Zeus also has like better fragging power than a lot of those guys. Not only that, he's calling strats and elevating everybody else's play around him. So he's brought so much to this team and really just brought them to a whole nother level.
Yeah, and so the first map here is going to be going live on Train in just a little bit here. So we can talk a little bit about the map while we're still waiting for the players from Team Liquid to join. Now, going right into that, considering the power that's brought onto both sides, let's actually discuss like the op versus op battle that's going to be happening there first. Who do you see taking the edge in that respect? As that could be a very important factor on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be important. I don't know, man. I don't know who's like the better opper necessarily versus Henny and JDM. I actually think they're pretty similar. I think Henny has a bit more of that X factor, that just wild card like can just come up with the craziest rounds. But I actually think JDM's more consistent. So little bit different there. Who is actually like the better opera? I think on any given day, Henny could be better than JDM, and I think on any given day, JDM could be better than Henny. Now, in regards to the importance of the op, I think Henny probably takes more op v op battles than someone like JDM. But I don't think we're going to see them necessarily clash head to head like that. I think both of them will be trying to fight, more of the riflers and things of that nature. But I do think that Henny probably gets set up a little bit better than JDM on the T side. Just post-plant situations. I think Zeus really tries to think about where he could put his opper to clutch the round and things like that. And that's a lot of the time why we see Henny have these great clips where he, is in a 2v4 and just kills like 3 to 4 people because he is set up very well in that regard. I don't think JDM and Liquid necessarily worry about it as much as SK does. But yeah, both operas really have a lot of strong points to their game, and I don't think anyone is superior to the other really.
So nice even battle in that respect too.
I do think it's an even battle, but I do think where Immortals has a strong edge and why I think they are the better team than Liquid is the map pool. I really think Immortals map pool makes it very tough to play against them, especially for North American teams who favor maps like Cash, Cobble, and Dust 2, where Immortals can, they can play anything. So Immortals is one of those teams where you're going to play against them, and they're going to be like, oh, so this is one of your strongest maps? Yeah, we're good on it, but we're just going to ban it so you just can't play it. And then all of a sudden, your strongest map is just taken out of the pool because they just have so many options.
Yeah, and then it's not only that too, but we're playing here on Train too. But right after this, we go over to Mirage, which not even just for Immortals, but for like Brazilian teams in general, has tended to be a very, very strong pick in the past. And as we mentioned before, Liquid may have not had some of the best results on as of late, so that could lead into another bit of an advantage there for the Immortals side too, going into that second map. And that's danger for Liquid since they need to win these matches to remain in contention for the grand finals.
No, they absolutely do need to win. And like I said, man, Immortals, just their map pool in general, I think on Mirage especially, they have some really good performances. Phelps is like incredible on Mirage. We've seen Henny, I think he played against Echo Fox that one time. What was his scoreline? Like 35-3 or something, just absurd, like never before seen type stuff. So they have a lot of players that can go big on Mirage, like Phelps and Henny, and then of course they have that anchor and Bolts that I always talk about. I always talk about Bolts and how he just is Mr. Consistent, Mr. just a rock, just so hard to take his site without him making a good impact. Always seems to be making the correct plays for SK. Always on near the top of the scoreboard, and then all of a sudden you'll have like a guy like Phelps one game just go off, guy like Henny one game go off and completely carry. So they have a lot of options. Like their win conditions are they have quite a few of them, right? They could play consistent team CS and everybody can do well. They could have a couple players like Phelps or Henny just go crazy. They could just win strategically. They have a lot of win conditions, man, and that's one of the reasons they're so tough to beat.
All right, well, we're still waiting for one more player to join up into the server, guys. It's Nitro right now, so if you're out there on Twitter, be sure to give him a tweet and let him know to jump into the server there pretty quickly. Because he's the last person we're waiting on to get this match started. It's the player's fault. It's not our fault. Everybody calm down. Take a deep breath.
Nick. Nitro told me a funny story. Like, when he was in high school, he told me he weighed literally like 120 pounds or 115 pounds. He was really small, right? But he was on the weightlifting team.
What?
And he was like super strong. He was like 112 pounds, and he would deadlift like 380.
Jesus.
Yeah, no joke. So I don't know. I always thought that was really funny because I just imagine him, like a little 112 pounds, just going out there with like full straps and just all this gear, and just lifting like 4 times his body weight. Oh man. So whenever I talk to Nick, I always joke about that.
He does seem like he's kind of like a smaller guy. Like you wouldn't expect him to be like this crazy, like this body lifter guy. So
yeah, I don't know if he is anymore, but I just know like when he was in like 10th grade, he was really into it.
It's interesting.
It's always funny to me.
All right, so again, it's going to be over here on Train and then going over to Mirage. I mean, we haven't talked about like predictions and whatnot yet. So who do you actually think is going to take control of this first map?
I think Immortals has a big edge. I think Immortals will probably win 2-0. Another reason I think Immortals does have an edge, we talked about it yesterday, coming right back from a LAN. I don't know if Liquid's played since they've came back from a LAN, but it always feels different every single time. Liquid's been struggling online. Immortals have been very consistent and very consistently good. They don't have to come back from a LAN and deal with, just getting used to online play again, getting used to their setups again, nothing like that. They don't have to worry about that. And sometimes it takes a few rounds to get used to it. I don't know if Liquid has been scrimming before this. I would assume they probably got back from ESL New York, took a little break, and maybe they deathmatched, a little bit and stuff like that. But I don't know if they played like some Team CS. So there could be, a little bit of rust there. But I do think we're going live. So
All right, guys, it's finally time. Once again, we do apologize for that bit of a delay there, but we are jumping into it. And as you can see, both of these teams in a questionable scenario at this point in the season, with the Immortals at 4th place. If they lose too many matches, they could also get bumped out of the top six, whereas Team Liquid are still actually battling to get back into it after a somewhat poor start to their season. But Team Liquid do get to start off on the CT side, with the Immortals going on to the T side here. And to start things off, the Immortals already moving through not only T-Con here, but up towards the ladder room. A very quick lineup, but there are multiple options of this. If the T-Con hit fails, they can try to go for an interplay as well, but right now, more than likely going to lead this into an outside play.
Yeah, they still have their options open, though. It really could be anything at this point. They're kind of just waiting, holding map control, and getting a feel of Liquid's setup. Liquid in a very, very standard CT side pistol setup, 2 in the back of inner, 3 playing range on outside with USPs. So as standard as you can get in that regard. I believe Hiko might be pushed up Ivy, though. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, no, so it is JDM. That could get a little bit scary, but he's going to rely on his teammate baiting for him, and then him getting a free kill if they do come that way. Looks like Immortals setting up for something, some type of a smoke towards outside, bomb above ladder. And really, they still have their options open, but I do think you're right, Blue. I think they're leaning towards outside here. Yeah,
and both teams are remaining very passive about it, too. As you can see, Team Liquid very far stacked back in the outside site. Even on inner, too, they're already fully committed to it. So not taking any chances there of a surprise inner hit. They are going to have to rely on Pimp being able to rotate back into the site pretty quickly, as the rest of them are really away from the site itself. And as they move in, actually a bit of a mistake there. You can see Zeus being brought down to 64 HP. It was gooshed by a teammate, but they do return the damage onto Pimp and Elige, who are both sitting at 5 HP. HP. Now Lucas will find the first kill, but Pip down at 5 HP, responds with 2 of his own pickups. Zeus, he's going to find one for the Immortals side, so it's still even into a 3-on-3, but the bomb is now down on the ground. However, here comes JDM on that long flank, misses up the opening shots though and doesn't grab the kill immediately. Now Henny's going to roll back out. He's going to be able to correct that, picks up the kill, Zeus with the second, and it all falls down to Hiko now in a 1v3. He's going to try to wrap himself over here. Here's the shots coming out from Zeus, and he can spot them too, but he's being taken down from behind here too. They've got control of him. The time is so low. He does have a kit, but he is just going to get headshotted by bolts when he tries to jump onto the bomb there. So Immortals, they'll pick up the pistol, and they will get the edge here to start off the first map.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Liquid that JDM missed that kill in the back there on Henny. He was trying to go for that headshot, not realizing that Henny didn't even have body armor. So he only hit him one time with that USP, shot about 12 bullets. All he needed was 3 shots. 3 shots to the body would have got that kill and would have put them firmly in control because, you know, Hiko, again, he had that smoke and a kit for the defuse. If JDM gets that kill, they probably win that round, as it looks like Liquid is stacking outside, and that's exactly where Immortals is going.
And we can see Zeus too looking to move his way out here. Nitro will look to resist, but the minimal investments even through the force up from Team Liquid this time is not going to net them with really great results. It's just a shutdown here. 3, now 4 kills already for the Immortals side for JDM, who is playing solo B, while he's just got a measly little USP. And he'll probably just try to work his way over here to the top of the ladder to punish anybody that goes out hunting for him. Ultimately, there's not a whole lot that he can try to accomplish. So an easy second round on the warpath here for the Immortals.
Yeah, and that pistol round, though, by JDM, that's one of the things that is a little bit, you know, makes him a bit one-dimensional, right? Like, we've talked about it before. When he has a rifle, he's like, honestly, in my opinion, more like main level. You know, like main level. Because he almost gets Phelp there. But, and then, you know, you see it translates to the USP as well, you know, on pistol rounds, and it hurts him a lot. So something that JDM has always had a problem with. We know his op is world class, but the pistols and the rifle game has always been, you know, not a strong point of his.
Yeah. And we can see too now, obviously just going into the trash round here for Team Liquid. Full save for these players as they wait to get into the next gun run after this one, so the Immortals should have an even easier time of closing out this next run here. And while they're not going to do anything too fancy about it, just proceeding already over here towards the box halls, keeping a player behind to watch out for flanks. That'll be the job of Henny. But as they move in, however, there's actually quite a few players stacked here to resist it. And Phelps having some trouble with the spray outside of the back 10. He's not going to be able to grab a kill, so it's even to start things off. However, in rolls Henny, actually flanking in through Z, doing some nice damage here. They've got the CTs boxed in, and obviously with the A side cleared out, they just rotate the bomb out towards here too. Quick adjustment from the Immortals, and a bit of a rocky start, but they do get control of things pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, and Henny and Phelps still looking for these SMG kills. Looking to clean up pretty quickly. Bolt's down to 4 HP with his ump. And Immortals is very scary, man. We've seen it quite a few times when they get off to good starts like these, when they just go 3-0 and then they hit you with just really fast strats and things like that. And it's tough to play against and really tough to stop. So we'll see what Immortals opts to, if they opt for that fast strategy that we've seen them play with quite a few times, or if they want to slow it down and give Liquid more respect, essentially. One of the things that could really slow down teams like that when you're doing those fast strategies like that is there's always going to be openings for op picks. Oppers can definitely get kills during those fast strats. You know, just posting up, getting aggressive angles, you know the rifles are going to come out and things like that. And it looks like Immortals is setting up pretty slow, though. It looks like they're doing their piston round default. 1 towards Ivy, 2 towards box halls, 2 towards team mid. Henny looking for a pick. And we'll see where they take it here, Blue.
And they are getting ready for it now, at least to start probing over here towards the outer bomb site. Keeping themselves into a very similar setup that they had in the pistol round, but there's an extra dimension being added to it, and that Bolts has now started to sneak his way over towards Ivy, whereas the Immortals completely avoided it when they last attempted something like this. Much like that last round, however, the options are still very much open. They want to try and do for something else, but however, this is a little bit more committed to with having Bolts over here towards the Ivy position, but there's a few options for him too. If he wants to just camp out here, he could wait for the inner hit if they decide to go for that, and then sneak in to go for a bit of a late flank there. With the heavy defenses set up on the outside area, if we do see the Immortals trying to crash into that, it could lead to some pretty poor results. And well, now they try to investigate out from T-Con. JDM, it's a nice scope in there onto Lucas, immediately taking him out of the picture. And as they wait for more, Henny is allowed out from T-Con, so he catches the trade. And this very quickly goes back down into a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, 4v4, I do think this favors Immortals, especially with that op being dead. Bolt's working up Ivy here. He could be a key player right now. And Henny, I think he has eyes on that op. He does, so he's waiting to see if anybody tries to pick it up, and that could lead to another kill if Nitro decides to try to pick it up.
But still no one from the Immortals even getting close to a bomb site here. And look at the time getting very low. Bolta tried to sneak in through Ivy. Nitro's been steadily watching that for this entire round, so he is able to punish that and take it down. And he actually misreads back over there, was waiting for the repeat. The good news is, though, is they got another kill on outside, so Nitro is the only one in the way of this here now, too. They'll be able to safely get that bomb onto the ground. Well, we did have Zeus trying to move in to catch the guys moving in from the B side over towards Z. He opted not to do that. He fell back and is going up the ladder room again and outside here onto the A site as everybody's posted up, but they are slowly flanking around this too. Phelps will find himself in a bit of a hot spot in a moment here, but Henny's got him. Nice setup for that one. Phelps with a second kill. Pimp trades, but he doesn't stay alive for much longer as Zeus is going to shut it down and yield the Immortals their first gun round, and so far their flawless streak of 4 rounds straight.
Yeah, we see JDM got a nice kill on Lucas there. Lucas thought he could creep out into hell, but JDM picking it every like 7, 8 to 10 seconds or something just catches him off guard. Henny is not covering him, gets that kill. But 3v3 and Immortals plays that post plant really, really well. Henny in post plant positions on train is really, really strong, man. He always stays around like the T mid, the red, maybe ventures out to E-box area, but never commits too far and almost never misses. So it's really tough to play against.
We can see Henny now too, again, waiting for that early pop-up from JDM. He spotted it, doesn't want to go for the immediate shot, but there you have it. JDM tries to sneak closer and is probably shut down by Henny. The early aggressive push from Team Liquid denied, and now yields the advantage for the Immortals here as Liege will hold in this corner. Checking that too, with only these pistols in hand, unless we see a Liege coming off with some perfect aim here, it's going to be tough for him to impact. And in fact, the push comes out from the ladder room first, and there's nothing he can do to stop that. Phelps will take him out, and the rest are moving in to slowly crunch this out too. Another kill for Henny, and already these CTs are down to just 2 men left up and standing.
And Henny, I think, has the double by Pimp. Unbelievable, man. The double headshot with a scout puts this round into a position where Liquid can actually win it, even though that flank does come out from Zeus, and he's going to take the bomb towards inner. But that was ridiculous.
The stars align for Pimp as he gets 2 incredible kills with a single scout shot. And for Zeus and Bolts, they'll get the bomb down here. Pimp, I doubt he's going to be able to clutch this. We'll see in a moment here. He's picked up an AK. Very little utility, just that single flashbang, and it doesn't have any armor either. So yeah, he's just going to run his way out through the halls, and Bolts will shut it down. But a good attempt nonetheless from Liquid, and certainly impacting on a minimal investment there coming off of their first gun round.
Yeah, that was I don't know if I've ever seen that before in like a pro game.
Yeah, look at it. Perfect.
A double scout headshot.
They were literally lined right up for him.
Oh, that was awesome.
Destroys him.
I don't know how that's a double scout headshot,
He
because
was
one of them was
crouched,
crouching and one of them standing.
Maybe one of them like crouched up and just the Go TV didn't register it in time or something like that.
How does that happen, bro?
I have no clue, dude. There's a lot of weird things that happen with Go TV. I don't actually know what this tick rate is either, so. Anyway, the Immortals are going to just push out this time. JDM finds a kill from further back in the Ivy tunnel, and now with the double op setup, actually, these ops are dominating. JDM and Pimp already up to 3 kills here, and that first entry frag from Zeus doesn't really seem to matter much now. They'll still get up to the bomb train, and with the smoke covering them, get it onto the floor here. Bolts, too, staying alive, spotted the shadow of JDM pushing back out, so he's able to punish him before he even locks on. But now Bolts lining up almost a second kill there. Finally, though, Nitro ends his life, and it's going to be up to Zeus, but Zeus again, another 2 players line up. This time, it's in the favor of the Immortals, though, and Zeus will close out the round. Still nothing on the board for Team Liquid.
Yeah, just a great round by Zeus. Runs out ladder and gets the entry. And if you noticed, when he first ran out ladder, he went forward. Generally, when you go out the ladder smoke, you go to the left. He went forward, went with the flashbangs, got out of the smoke, and was able to get that kill, plant the bomb, and then still get 3 more kills on 15 HP. So Zeus taking that round in his own hands, winning that as Henny stomps on Pimp, trying to pick him with the scout, and Liquid Leash picks it up and gets destroyed there. Phelps dies himself.
How did that happen?
He was getting shot down as he was going down the ladder.
Yeah, I guess
so
he
shot him with like
before the
4,
last bullet connects.
exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. All right.
So that's definitely what happened. But that round before, as we see Immortals go up to a 7-0 start, but Liquid did get in their double op setup. That's what they generally opt for when they have the money. And we saw their ops did good work. They were in a 2v4. Bolts and Zeus were able to clutch it, but the ops brought them into that 2v4. And like I told you earlier, when you do those fast strategies by Immortals, that's definitely a round that Liquid shouldn't have lost. They should have won that round. They should have won it clean. Instead, they lost that post plant, even though those ops stopped that fast strat and put it into a 2v4.
And considering how effective it was when they used it previously here too, they're going to go right back to it. Even though Pimp doesn't have enough money to buy up armor for himself, he is going to take the glass cannon route. JDM, on the other hand, will have plenty of cash to work with here too, so they are going to still just try and work with this. And the usual split up from them as well. 4 already on the outside site. The Immortals, though, no reason to force things out here. Even more passive Henny now, as he's, in the past 2 or 3 rounds, been playing very aggressively. We saw it, I think it was just a round or 2 ago, where literally as soon as he has the opportunity to, pushes directly outside of the T-Con there and finds that kill into the first operant Z. Nothing like that this time. They're very preserved. They're very held back, as they don't want to give away what they're planning here early on. And we are going to see them line up. Looks like movement into the inner site here. 2 players on top of the ladder room, and they're going to throw quite a few smokes and whatnot over here towards the inner site too. Just going to end up being Zeus that pushes in, and actually they're going to send 3 down the ladder room, so it's another outside take from these players. Elige stops the first one. JDM with a second. We do see Bolts catching the kill into Elige, but JDM is there to cover for it. Now it's on Zeus inside here to make sure he can continue to impact. Phelps definitely won't be moving out from his position anytime soon. Zeus needs to try and fall back here and group up with Phelps, but things are not looking good indeed for the Immortals, and we may finally have our first round for Team Liquid. Nitro, though, he is going to look to sneak back around over here towards T-Con, line up a flank, but that may not even be necessary anymore. There's JDM with another op shot, and for Nitro, he'll get his eyes on the last player that's alive. There's Zeus, walks right out of the ladder room, and Nitro is going to shut it down.
Yeah, and Liquid able to preserve both ops, so they're able to keep with that. They actually get a triple op setup now. Not sure if Nitro should have picked that one up, but he did. Now they have a 3 op setup on train, so we'll see how that works. Immortals does know that they are in a double op setup, so I'm curious to see how Immortals are going to adapt. They know they have a lot of ops across the map, but they're going to opt for some type of a smoke take, maybe something towards inner. We'll see, but I doubt they try to do something where they just challenge the opt and maybe throw a pop flash and just rush or anything like that.
We are looking at them now for the Immortals. For the most part, they haven't really been using Ivy all that much, only really sending 1 or 2 players to it in a couple sparing rounds here and there, but they are going to start to shift over towards it here as Nitro will be the main guardian of this one to try and watch out for it, but nobody else from Liquid really paying too much mind to it for now until we actually see JDM having to rotate back, but Nitro already catching the first player there. Second one moves in, and it's just clinical here for Nitro. 3 fast kills. Henny's responded with one of his own back by the T-Con, but it doesn't even matter unless he can impact here and shut out Nitro. The flashbang actually stops Nitro from finding the kill and causes him to push too far out into the open, but Elige is there. He's able to find those 2 final kills and does put a second round on the board for TL.
Yeah, great job by Nitro there, getting that initial entry on that kill. Just opping close range, shotgun opping, gets the next 2, and he's actually a very, very capable opper. So they have that option if they do want to get 3 ops, or if maybe Pimp isn't opping that well, but they could always switch it up and let Nitro do it.
And for now, too, we'll see the Immortals, who finally ran into some struggle there, have to downgrade their weaponry. Just going to be working with pistols for the most part. A few players are able to get armors. We can see Zeus, Bolts, and Phelps just go for the Tech 9 armor buy. Henny and Lucas are not able to do that, though, so Henny just a P250, obviously, to save up for the op, and Lucas will go for the Deagle buy. Elige, though, already catching 2 of them, pushing out 2 fast kills. Phelps is able to wrap through first there, going unspotted, and actually dives into the smoke and Z, so maybe having the potential to find 1 or 2 players. This will come down to timing, and he actually catches a couple of them. What's that spray, though? A bit messy. Still gets the kill, looking for a second, but he's run out of ammo in his Tech 9, and that will lead to his death. Nitro eliminating him, puts us into a 2-on-2. The Immortals, at the very least, causing this huge distraction outside, found a plan and inner in the meanwhile, but now it comes the difficult part to try and hold this. Still plenty of utility for TL. They've got 2 smokes to try and block off the Heaven Molly that's inevitably going to come in here from Bolts. They still got to knock out Henny first, though, so JDM starts to slow creep up to the bomb train. That first smoke goes in, but however, Henny is not even watching that left side. Regardless, they get Henny to drop back down. The Molly goes in, and actually Bolts is going to go right out for it. The counter smoke follows up almost immediately after that. I don't know if they fully realized he's here. He finds that first kill, looking for the second one, but no! JDM is just barely going to survive with 4 HP. 1 more bullets and Bolts would have done the job, but it's not going to happen. And Team Liquid find a third off of that.
Yeah, Bolts actually played that as well as you can with a Tech 9 there in a 2v1, especially when the bomb gets smoked out. So that was impressive play by him, not able to find that kill through the smoke, and Liquid maintains their economical, advantage now because they still have that double op setup. And now Immortals is in a spot where, Liquid's coming back into this half. So off that very fast start by Immortals, Liquid's coming back into it and getting very well set up as Pimp pushes upper with the op. You might see he does get pushed back though. And their double op setup hasn't found a pick yet, but they're in their default now. And you see their default, usually Elige is probably going to be the first player to find action at outside if they do any sort of smoke take. But then they have JDM around the green chain. He's able to help at Ivy. He's able to watch team mid run out and things like that. That's why Lucas, that one round he got picked, thought he could run out. And then they have Nitro able to play Ivy or Hell. And they can kind of switch around between each other.
And Lucas already prodding outside here too. Catching a Liege a little bit too far out for his own good there, so it brings him to 12 HP, but however, still holding them back outside of the site and into this more passive line setup they have going now, where they're all just stuck in T-Con and box halls. You could assume eventually here we are going to see like Phelps and Zeus start to work their way in towards inner, to the very least make some noise here, but the plan definitely seems to be shifting towards that inner hit due to the trouble they're facing, just entering really in all avenues here, both through T-Con and getting themselves out through Ivy. Just not working out so great, so changing up the game plan may seem to work out a little bit better for them if they can actually find these entries this time. Unfortunately, it may not prove to be such a simple task either, since you have Pimp is already rotated in here with his op and he's sitting in the backside, and Elijah is close by in heaven there too, who can rotate in very, very quickly. Although he's a bit low, and still add like another asset to this to at the very least cause more hesitation. Now though, only 20 seconds left. The Immortals have to go for this now. Hiko's lined up and they're slow pushing it. That's not going to work out so well. Hiko a bit cautious of an upper hit though, so he only sticks around for that single kill and finds himself in the open, but two of them light up, and I think Pimp just got another double onto Bolts and Lucas. He's going to jump up and find a third as well, and Elige will pick up the final kill. Liquid are shutting this down after a poor start.
Yeah, Hiko playing that inner spot though, that was a really nice angle right there, and Pimp gets another double and then peeks up and kills, I think that was Zeus through the smoke at upper. So whenever you go back inner though, and you're going down lower ramp with 4 people, I mean, that could have been really dangerous. Like, Hiko easily could have 4K'd there because some of them were just so weak on the Immortal side. As we now see, they opt to save with 4 Deagles. A couple of them have head armor, and they have a smoke and a nade. So we'll see if they can make some magic happen there, Blue. But Liquid stabilizing. They could definitely end this half on a strong note. Immortals, though, if they just get, like, one more round, I think they'll be very, very happy with this T side.
And we'll see if they can find that. Probably not going to be looking at it here. We still have quite a few rounds to go in the first half, of course. But, ooh, actually looks like it hit, but barely. We're able to see Bolts get out of that op shot there and keep himself alive. Not going to be connecting today. And we can see, too, actually a pretty quickly lined up upper hit from Zeus, too, as he's trying to look for a way out onto this site. Pimp denies it, however, and Velps is going to try to move in, too, but the guys from Immortals just aren't grabbing anything at all in this round, and both of the remaining players are stuck around the area here in T-Con. Same problems as before, really not able to find that entry to get them out onto the site to begin with, as they were doing at the beginning of it. Lucas almost lines up the shot. Bolts will finish the job for him here, but now he's alone in the 1v4, posting himself up, hoping for at least one more headshot, but it won't be found. Elige will take him out, and Team Liquid now sit within 2 rounds of tying this up. Plenty of cash to work with. Huge round streak for them, and for the most part, not even letting Immortals get plants in most of these rounds, too. As you can see, only 1 out of the 5 that have been won here from Team Liquid have had a plant from the Immortals.
Yeah, and we see it time and time again. When Liquid is able to get that double op going, they're able to stabilize their economy. They're really, really tough to beat. And their outside setup, they're actually giving them a lot of room. You know, they're able to get out like they are right now. It looks like they're just doing an outside rush.
JDM is going to try to hold this one right up in his face. Even tries to do the fancy move up the ladder and down again to try and correct it, but Lucas is trading, and he's going to be able to not only pick up JDM, but knock out Elige here too. Lucas hunting for more. They know that there are more players hiding around this Ivy tunnel here. It's just a matter of figuring out exactly where they've gone towards. After the smoke fades away, they don't find much, and Team Liquid do have a good setup to try and punish here, but the Immortals are ready for it. And they're keeping themselves at the ready in the event that Team Liquid try to crunch on this one. They're waiting, of course, for the bomb to go down, which has happened now. With all the Team Liquid members spread up, every single one of them has to be able to impact here. And, well, they almost catch a lucky break there, but unfortunately, we aren't going to see Hiko hit his shots initially, but it is enough to bait out Nitro safely. He's able to move into the open and find that kill onto Phelps. Took a lot of damage onto Hiko. Now we're only even, too. Nitro needs to find a kill, and again, he does do this. Picks up Lucas now, bringing it into the advantage for Team Liquid, but they are running out of time here. As they move out, it's another 1-for-1 trade between Oppers. Pimp and Henny both finding kills, and Henny drops off the ladder, grabs another one on Hiko. He's going to mess up that flashbang, but he's wasting so much time, and actually, the flashbang hit. I correct myself. Regardless, though, Pimp is going to get the kill, but I don't think he has enough time. No! Nicely done by Henny. He delays the retake, and with that, finally, an 8th round goes up on the board for the Immortals.
Yeah, just another great job by Henny, man. Every time he's in that post planet outside, he seems to just win the round. His movement on that ladder was so good. JDM actually missing the initial op frag, though, when they did go outside. He could have had a double there and made that round a lot easier. Nitro staying alive in hell, though, actually gave Liquid that advantage during that later round, those later rounds, because they had no idea. But Henny just making magic happen once again.
So as it goes into the 2 final rounds here, the Immortals have the guaranteed advantage off of T-side coming into the second half, but obviously looking to fortify that a little bit more considering how they started this off up 7-0 at one point here. Only just now losing that advantage as Team Liquid went on a 5-round streak. They've lost their stride now, but Hiko is going to be caught at a very inconvenient time for himself. He'll get 1 kill, but then trades out. Pimp is here, though. He's been doing work with the op in this half. Gets the first kill, is actually just barely going to miss the shot to actually fully take down Henny on the second one. He brings him down to 3 HP, but it's not enough to fully kill him. And he's still peeking out, though, which is a bit of a ballsy move for him considering his current HP. But now Elige moving in on the flank. He's going to take down Bolts. He'll be able to finish off Zeus, and if Henny's able to do this, it would be a miracle. But the second he peeks out of that smoke, Nitro is there to shut him out. It will be the 6th going up onto the board for Team Liquid. They trade out rounds, and this, I believe, should reset the T-side economy into not the greatest of forces going into that final round.
No, not the best economy for Immortals right now, as they're probably just going to Tech 9 armor and have a bunch of nades. But Pimp with some really well-positioned opping here. He always seems to be able to kill them after they do like the initial execute. You know, like 5 seconds after that, he's always positioned very well to not be blind or anything like that and get kills that way. But Immortals, they're going to be happy with this half, whether they win this round or lose it. They've done a really good job of just winning these rounds that, honestly, they had no business winning at some point.
JDM burning in the Molotov there, and he's flashed as well, so not even really able to tell what exactly is going on. He does have to peek out into the open, where we will see the Tech 9 impact. Elige holding control, but the same problem, flashed out and in the open, where we will see a punishment come out from one of the Immortals' members here too, and Nitro trying to spray into that smoke. It's a sudden surprise peek. Hiko picks up 1-2, and it's been a bunch of trades here, but will we see another Team Liquid member suffer the same fate? Hiko's being allowed to move up to the site, where he's going to take down the bomb planter, even gets a second one. Henny with an additional trade, so this goes into a 1v1. Pimp will be the player trying to clutch this one out. He's already got Henny down at about half of his HP too. He cannot dare to go through that Molotov, so Pimp has got good grounds to this one, but he's actually looking for the kill instead of jumping onto the bomb immediately here too. Being a bit cautious of him being able to peek out and stop him from accomplishing it. But hasn't seen him yet. Now he's going to decide to just smoke it back off here, jump onto the bomb. He's actually got a nice smoke, and there you go. Perfectly played by Pimp. Wins out the 1v1, is able to spot his legs early on the peek out there, and clutches yet another round for Team Liquid, as they will bring themselves back up 7-8 to end the half. Guys, the second half, it's been an epic one so far. The second half is coming up in just a little bit. More of Team Liquid versus the Immortals is coming up in just a little bit, right here at the ESL Pro League.
He's going to get the 1 kill in that bomb coming onto the side. FNX has to stay up. He gets the triple FNX. Oh my god, what a way to win that round. They don't have a smoke, so this orb is still.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Soylent, Xfinity, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, The Score Esports, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
The Immortals get themselves on a great start here on their first half on Train, but unfortunately lose their stride a little bit and allow Team Liquid to come back. Now knocking at their doorstep, it's 8-7, still in the favor of the Immortals as they jump onto the CT side, but a very close game, and a pistol round in Team Liquid's favor can turn that around immediately. Days, going into the second half, what are your general thoughts now?
General thoughts is that Immortals, even though they won that half 8-7, it could have gone a lot worse. I think a lot of the rounds they won, Liquid were actually favored, but Henny just doing an amazing job post-plant situations on outside, always multi-fragging, always clutching the round. Even that last round, they really had no business even being that close, but we saw Pimp just play it so well, man. Took his time, didn't overcommit, knew he had like 40 seconds to work with and used every second of it and made sure he won that round really cleanly. Worst thing you could do in that situation is actually pull out a nade or something like that and just get rushed during that timing. So he played that really well, and I thought that was actually pretty impressive by him.
And a lot of these rounds, it actually has sort of been the battle of you could say like Pimp versus Henny in respect to like who can come out with the bigger plays. Those two are definitely like the leading players in terms of clutch plays at this point. Henny being one of the few, as we haven't really seen a lot of the other Immortals guys stepping up as of yet. A few good plays from like Phelps and whatnot being able to push in and enter on the side. But we saw that drop off big time at the second quarter of the match there, whereas Pimp remained consistent almost entirely through that half once we saw Team Liquid get going.
Yeah, and I think Liquid could have came out that half with the lead, maybe 9-6 or 10-5 if they would have won a couple of those scenarios that they were favored to win. Instead, they go down second half disadvantaged. You know, their CT side only able to get 7 rounds here, and now Immortals is very favored in this game.
I mean, you can see Henny there too, leading the scoreboard by a pretty big margin for his team at like 20-10. Next highest player is Zeus down at 11-9. So having a big lead and a very top-heavy performance from him to start things off, though, for Team Liquid on their T side. They are going to split up pretty evenly. Lucas, I'm not sure if he's seen the bomb around that corner. It's a bit hard to tell from the minimap. Yeah, I believe he's seen it, but Hiko could be the player that stops him from being able to hold this position now, as he's certainly going to want to keep eyes as far as where the bomb is going to work towards, and he's even called Henny out here, too, to hold for this. So a bit of an interesting opener here. We'll see how Team Liquid adjusts for this, because that bomb is in a peculiar spot now.
Yeah, Hiko is going to want to fly out the corner probably when they make contact at Ivy. They'll probably swing out, and then Hiko's going to try to fly out and get the kill. See what happens here.
And we'll see them moving into it now. The flashbang that started off with Lucas, the sniper from long range, along with Henny there. Henny grabs the first kill, but unfortunately, Hiko's position does catch them off. With him swinging out a bit of a delay there, he does move in to catch 2 trades for that one. Phelps trying to take down Hiko and correct the mistake that happens there earlier. Fails at it, but however, Team Liquid, they've been forced in. One shot out of nowhere from Phelps just destroys Hiko's head, takes him out of the match. And now the remaining members of Liquid, they're going to shuffle away from the Ivy area completely here and try to work their way up through the white hulls instead to go for an inner hit, it looks like.
Yeah, but Zeus saw that he fell back Ivy, and generally if that guy falls back Ivy, it's probably going to be towards inner, so I would not be surprised if they over-rotate here with just a guy spotting team mid, and then you could have like one guy towards inner and Bolts on that ladder ready to quick flank.
And we can see that that's what they're lining up for now, even calling Zeus into the Z area too. The flashbang at first is great, completely destroys Phelps' vision here, but he is able to keep himself alive, which is the important thing. Unfortunately, Zeus pushing out into the open first, and the flank as well gets denied, so it all falls to Phelps. Quick shot from him, takes down Nitro. He's got it into a 1v2, and JDM's also very low. He's one-shottable, regardless of where he hits him from. Elige is the first big target that he's got to worry about, though, and really the only target. And Phelps also has a kit and the smoke to counter out any Molotov that may be used here, but Phelps goes on top of the bomb train, moving in. You can hear what he's playing out from, but he can't see that headshot, and Elige is going to close out the round. Team Liquid pick it up and will immediately be tied as we go into the second half.
Yeah, and Liquid needed that round. They needed that pistol there. They played that 3v3 exceptionally well. Phelps being dangerous there. Could have won that, but Elige had the knowledge that he was jumping above him. He played that really well, even though Phelps did have what he needed to win that round in that kit and that smoke.
And so for Team Liquid going into the second round, of course, they both have to deal with the force-up from the Immortals. However, most teams not necessarily going to be dealing with too much trouble with regards to that. Henny with the scout, we may be a bit worried about how he's able to impact there, but as we can see, Team Liquid, no hesitation, just moving themselves right to the B-bomb. So actually bringing Nitro down pretty low. He's going to dinked. He actually gets hit again there too. It's 16 HP, but they handle that first kill. We'll see the other CT start to rotate in very, very quickly, but Molotovs and all sorts of utility from Team Liquid to try and hold them off of this retake. As they shuffle in their flashbangs, you can see like a good 80% of the team right now is blind on the Immortal side. JDM finding that kill. Phelps' trade, but Pimp comes in and actually takes down Henny. Nitro as well, shutting out Lucas. That flank pretty much kills all their hopes and dreams, and for Phelps, well, he's stuck in a 1v4 here, and he will be taken down as well by Elige.
Yeah, so now Immortal's going to be on a save before they could buy again. Probably just a full save here. Not much money to their team, and well, you know, that first half though, man, like I talked about it a little bit before we started the game. Henny, just the post plant positioning, man. That was actually super impressive, man. He played that so well on that T side. Now we see just complete outside rush by Liquid, get their mollies down. Immortals is completely stacked here, though, so we'll see if they can get some kills.
Already losing one of their defenders here, though, and the second and third follow pretty quickly after that. It does seem as though on the trash round here, the Immortals are not going to be able to find much of anything. Henny actually does pick up 1 kill there, so doing some damage. Trying to get the money in a manageable position, and they know where Henny's at. No reason to be foolish about this player here. The flashbang follow-up, it's perfect. Actually a bit slow to move in, but I think the flashbang affects him long enough to where it's not going to matter regardless. Hiko grabs that final kill, and we go 8-10 in the favor of Team Liquid now, getting into that first gun round here.
Yeah, first gun round, and Immortals has no op. And we'll see if, you know, Liquid, what their strategy is, if they can get JDM in maybe those post-plant positions that Henny was in. Maybe we could see some big plays out of him. So, no op to their name, though. A Mag 7 and 2 FAMASs. They opt for more utility rather than the M4. And I actually like that a lot. You know, I talked a little bit yesterday about 5.7s, how I prefer it over the FAMAS. But if you could have a FAMAS and full utility, then I prefer that over the 5.7 for sure.
Team Liquid, though, are still playing this very fast inside, but the problem is they're dealing with a lot of extra gunpowder. This is a shutdown from the Immortals. 4 kills in their favor now, and only 1 for Nitro. And Hiko, bit embarrassed at the end of the round there, too, as he's slowly whittled down at range by Zeus's shotgun. He is going to pick up that kill, and beyond the 1 player of the Immortals that fell in that previous round, it is an immediate trade back from the Brazilians, as they will, I think it also puts them onto an eco almost instantly here, too. Well, no, they're going to buy into this one. Pimp was sitting at like 7,700.
Yeah, they definitely
JDM
have
a bit
enough
lower
money, but Immortals, them opting for utility there was actually huge. Like, Liquid probably doesn't do that round, you know, where they rush like that, because they're thinking they don't have the Molotovs and utility to stop that. That's like the most important thing to stop like any rush like that, is just having nades for it. So Immortals buys the nades, and it's able to get them in good positionings and force Liquid out of good positions and able to win that round because of it.
We can see Phelps challenging things too immediately in that ladder room. Liquid are aware of that as they keep eyes on the drop down here. Liege waiting to see if someone is going to press forward against that. Try to trick it out with the angle before too, as he was hiding on the other side of that one, but don't think the mind games are going to play out. Phelps is definitely not going in to investigate this ladder position anytime soon. Hiko, though, is being allowed a lot of control up towards Ivy there, but he does actually back away just as the CTs were going to move in to reassert their control there, so it's a good thing he does get out of there. And as we take a look at the rest of Team Liquid, again, just not being able to find anything early on. They were initially lined up for just a default A hit, but this may end up changing a little bit. As we can see now, the bomb shifting in through the kitchen, over through locker rooms, and to the backside of B. So I think this is actually where they're going to end up trying to go for an execute too, and that does pose a bit of a danger too, since Phelps has already pushed his way all the way up towards the ladder. That's a very early flank they could line up for, along with the fast rotations from the A side that probably aren't going to be restricted by an Ivy push or anything like that. So the CTs will be given a lot of free room to line up their retake almost immediately as soon as Team Liquid's intentions are revealed. And now they get ready, so they move in, only leaving themselves 25 seconds to make this happen too. And there's a lot of presence already on this site to begin with. Zeus waiting behind the plywood here, first kill, and a second one lines them right up. Pimp trades from upward, but Bolts is able to counter trade that back out. He even moves in to take out another player. So this all falls to Hiko now, who's going to try to clutch this out 1v3, but doesn't even get the first player. Bolts takes him down with a USP, and there we go, tied again now at 10 rounds.
Yeah, just a beautiful hold by Immortals. Great setup by them. Bolts is watching upper from the middle bomb. Zeus behind the spindle, able to get 2 entries there. Their plan there, I mean, yeah, he can get 2, but as long as he gets 1, they probably still win that round because Bolts is alive. He's able to hold his upper, get that kill, and then swing towards the site and get JDM as he comes down that ramp. And that was sniffed out by Immortals so far before they did that. Like, Immortals absolutely knew what Liquid was doing. It was a great read by them. They had Phelps positioning there, and they just knew exactly what was going to happen.
Nitro, though, is going to catch Zeus peeking out for a nade a bit early here. However, with the damage that Zeus does trade, it may have proved to have been worth it here. You can see JDM, Liege, and Pimp down to about a quarter of their health, and the second nade from Bolts already knocks out 2 of them here. Hiko being destroyed, his HP anyway from range here, and Liege trying to read the shadows. He catches it, actually, gets that 1 additional kill, but that's all they are going to find are those 2 pickups. It's a pretty quick eco round there. No plant for Liquid, and Immortals find the 11th and the lead once again here too against Liquid. Very important.
Yeah, and Immortals playing really, really well right now. Liquid probably won't have an op here. 4,800 on Nitro, and that is it. So I think they'll have full 8K buy. Penny with the op for Immortals, 25 and 14 on him, carrying the squad, man. Just playing insanely well. Everyone on Liquid holding their own, though. But this is very Immortal-sided right now.
And it's
they
not
have complete advantage.
It's not looking good, too. A Team Liquid continuing to go for these fast outer hits, needing to find multiple entries here. Pimp being brought down very low, but Nitro did importantly grab that first kill on Bolts. Now it's getting beyond this and up to the site. They're doing more damage to the CT, so things are going a lot better this time. Phelps responding, though. Still hunting for more, but the smoke is making things a bit confusing for him to work with here. Great damage has been done to almost everybody except for Nitro here, and he's going to be the first one to get knocked out. Hiko, though, holding with the rest of his teammates. They move in, but it's 2 HP on a Liege, 11 for Pimp, and 34 for Hiko. This is definitely something that Henny can clutch. May not be so confident with the op, as I'm not sure how exactly aware he is of just how low these players are, but there's the first pickup. Has to take the shot since he looks right at him there, tries to go for the second one, but Pimp responds with the AK, and the missed op shot does seal their fate. It remains a close game here now, tied for the 3rd time, I think, in this match here now, at 11-11.
Yeah, Liquid able to get those initial entries. I think they put it to a 5v3, but Immortals did a lot of damage there, man. They probably shouldn't have had as many kills as they got towards the end of that round. Phelps threw a nice one-way in the site there. I might take a look at that later. because that that was pretty nice by him. But Bolt's dying on that very initial, spot of that round, as they have 3 shotguns, Blue. 3 shotguns.
I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. 2 of them are in positions that you would sort of expect. Well, the third one is too there as well, but this all relies on Team Liquid going for that kind of a hit. And it's very conditional too, as for the most part here, with the current fit of the Team Liquid are working with, Lucas is not going to meet much effectiveness with that one. And the same thing for Phelps until he actually goes for that flank. Team Liquid again, keeping their options open as they've kept the bomb in the White Halls there leading up towards the B-bomb site. But definitely looking like it's going to lead itself into a B hit. But we will actually see Zeus going into the entrance of upper too to hold that position a little bit, or at least just to scout for some intel. Doesn't find anything there and just goes right back down to take his position outside of the ramp again.
Yeah, and this might come down to Phelps, because if they come down ladder here, he's actually very, very favored. And you see the way he's playing it. He's able to dodge flashes if they come down that ladder. So he might listen for the flash queue and then peek out. And I think if they do come ladder, I think he'll probably get 2 and be able to win this round. And I do believe they will come down ladder. Will Legion's set up for it? Maybe outside smokes. He's about to come down right now.
Spot at the last moment there by Team Liquid, though, as he deployed the smoke. But now he's going to jump in. They didn't check for it, though, but he misses that shot. How does that miss? That was right on. And now, all of a sudden, Team Liquid have a huge edge here. They pushed in. They've gotten full control of the site. We are seeing the flank in from Zeus, but they should expect that Lucas is going to walk into the site. Pimp picks up that kill. Zeus dropping in. It's a bit of a shotgun battle, while Zeus will win it. These other 2 kills outside are at long range, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to win them. There may be a rifle on the ground, but they've already spotted him there, so it's going to be hard to recover it. And with JDM knocking out Bolt, there's just not a whole lot left for Zeus to do here. He's got to fall back, and he's got to save.
Yeah, and Liquid's going to win this round, put Immortals on a save. It'll be 11-12 for Liquid. Immortals will be on a save. We should see 11-13. And just when I thought that Immortals actually had control over this game, Liquid rushes outside with AKs and armors, and that's it. Puts Immortals on this terrible buy. Phelps not able to do anything in that ladder, and now Liquid takes control of this map, and they have a big advantage here. They'll be 13-11 with great economy as long as they win this upcoming round. Immortals, not great economically speaking. They'll be able to scrape by a buy, but I'm not even sure if they're going to have an op for this upcoming round as well after this one.
We'll see in a moment here, too, as it's looking like it's being taken fairly lightly by the Immortals here. They're just going to let Team Liquid scrap up to 13 and then try to win it out in that gun round. Phelps, unfortunately, the big miss from him is it looked like he had that shot head on, but it just doesn't connect for some reason. Now they are sitting at a huge disadvantage here, and Liquid, unless Zeus goes off with some amazing play, have full initiation rights in this round to do whatever they want. Well, I was counting on Zeus to do something from the ramp room, but he just tries to push it, and he is immediately wrecked by a Liege. So not the greatest start for the guys from the Immortals, and a quick follow-up will be happening here from Team Liquid as they'll move in and take control of the inner site. Bolt should reassure too that they are going to be on an eco here, so there you go. No reason to hesitate now, and Pimp's even inside Tikon here too. He's got himself a bit of a mini battle. He's actually struggling with this one, so he may get knocked out here. Smart about it, he did fall back, but still, the instant headshot from Lucas is going to knock him out.
Yeah, nice shot by Lucas there. They're probably going to try to salvage that AK. Elijah's on the hunt, though, so we'll see if he can get any more frags here. Pushing up towards CT spawn in back alley, looking towards post. But Immortals all in positions where you can't see anything just yet.
Lee's now moving out too to hunt for Lucas. He suspects him on the right side. Even does a little bit of a flare to that jump too. Gets the kill, drops the AK. It's the most important gun to get out here. Even if 1 or 2 of them still go down, so long as they can deny those saves, that's going to be the big important thing. Henny up over here in heaven, hoping he can find 1 or 2 players out in the open here on this site. Not looking likely. Everybody from Team Liquid has evacuated. The bomb actually does blow up the glass for him, and as he moves in, he can't find anything with his pistol. Has to switch over to the knife to try and finish off the job, and Nico holds his own there and is going to be able to save his gun. And as we go into this next round here, the buy rolls in for the Immortals. And we do even have to see a couple players downgrading once again. Phelps with the Mac 10. Full utility for him at the very least. Other players like Henny having to go down to a FAMAS, but everybody else able to get an M4 at the very least. But only 1 kit, too, and that sits on Lucas right now.
Yeah, I don't really understand this keeping to the Mac 10. I'd rather have like a 5.7 here, because at least you could headshot him and just kill him right away. But Mac 10, you need like, I think it takes 3 headshots to kill him if they have head armor, so.
You're going to see JDM picking up that first kill there. Giving them a right to get in. Oh, Nitro almost falling down a bit too far there. Manages to control it, though, before he hits the ground. And nicely done from Zeus and Phelps. Phelps with a touchdown need to eliminate a Liege, and then Henny responding on his own regard. Looked a bit rough there when Team Liquid found the entry, but they do trade it back, and now this goes into a 2 versus 4. Not only that, too, but Pimp and Hiko are pretty split up at this point. They're going to try and get themselves back together, but Hiko, good timing on his peek out from T-Con. Just Henny, just as he decides to retreat back over there towards Ivy to go for a check on that. Now they've got the way to get themselves started here on the outer bomb side. They're going to push up. At the very least, they should be able to find the plant as long as they go right for it here. But that doesn't mean the Immortals are taking this one lightly either. They're already rotating over, trying to get into better positions to retake this site. So I cannot let Team Liquid close out here. That would almost mean certain victory for them in this map. And Hiko, he's going to move into the open, gets that first kill, and transfers the spray onto the second one. A big play from Hiko, and that may have just secured the round. Phelps in the 1 versus 2, moving in slowly. No kid. If he wants that kid, I think he's got to go all the way. No, he's got it actually in front of him here. So he is going to be able to pick that back up. But still, he needs to move quickly. Time is running very low. He's going to have to look to clutch this out and find these 2 kills very fast. Also to note too, both of Team Liquid's members are split. He's walking right into the trap at this point. And in a second, we're going to see the possible peek from Hiko around the corner. He's just going to dive onto it with the smoke, but it doesn't work out. Hiko knew it was coming, counters it out perfectly, and Team Liquid get a 14th round.
Yeah, beautiful flash by Pimp and communication by Liquid to throw that at that back alleys. Nets Hiko 2 of those frags in a 2v3. That was actually 2v4. Hiko comes towards Team mid. He hears Henny falling away. Henny wants to check Ivy there, thinking Hiko's probably lurking out. Hiko surprises him by coming Team mid pretty early after those initial frags. I'm not sure what Liquid's initial plan was that round, but their late round setup in that 2v4 worked really well. But initially, they kind of went outside, got a pick by JDM, came towards inner and just kind of rushed out and put the round back into Immortals' control. But then Hiko's fantastic play was able to clutch it out for Liquid.
And so now we sit at a bit of a brink here too. The Immortals will look to do as much as they can on what could be one of these final rounds, but they're gonna essentially, unless they upset in huge regards here, they're going to have to go 4 straight against Team Liquid to try and take this into overtime. Otherwise, Team Liquid will have full control of this one, and they'll be well on their way to getting themselves back into the top 6 of the league here. Bit of a stalemate at the beginning of this round, of course. The Immortals not wanting to do anything super aggressive. We did see Zeus pushing into upper there a moment ago, and obviously have, I believe that's Liege waiting at the top of the ladder room too to make sure nobody pushes up from there. But beyond this, it's a bit hesitant as we wait for Team Liquid to actually start their take. 50 seconds on the clock, so they'll move in for a bit more control here, like towards the back of the B-bomb site. Ivy is going to be a bit of a hot spot, as you can see there too. Lucas and Henny in the area, but JDM is already watching out, and Henny tried to go for a bit of an info peek, which is going to be denied pretty quickly. Now Phelps holding in that same position he was in the previous round. He gets the Qs this time. There we go, making up for it a couple rounds back. 2 fast kills from him. Now they look for more. He's down at 7 HP, so he's got to be very careful. Hiko's also going to take down Bolts too, so it's even to get into a 3-on-3, but that Molotov is actually going to burn Phelps. He can't fall back in time. Perfectly placed Molotov by Pimp, and that's going to take down Phelps. Now again, they lose another one of their guns here. Zeus is going to be able to retrieve it, but same firepower that they have to work with, and as they move in, they lose Lucas back by T-Con. Hiko's going to take him out, and they already know that Zeus is sitting back inside. He tries to push out, taking so much damage, and JDM is going to end things with the Tech 9. Team Liquid up at 15 rounds, and only 1 away from taking map number 1.
Yeah, that was what I thought was going to happen the round before when Elise came through the smoke with the ump there. Fortunately for Phelps, that round before, the timing worked against him, and the smoke, he wanted to throw it as soon as Elise was coming down. Now they opt for a triple op setup, Blue. Zeus, Henny, and Phelps, they say, hey, our normal game isn't working. Let's do something pretty, gimmicky, and hope that it works out for us.
We'll see how well this does play into them here. Well, unfortunately, the first one's already going to get dropped. JDM, the quick peeker on the corner here. He's even going to post up in the ramp group to wait for more than work out. Bolts dodging death in certain respects there, too, as he does spot the barrel of the op just around the corner, along with the player itself that's wielding it. He'll be able to sneak out now, but Team Liquid are also taking up new positions too, and there's a second one from JDM. This time it's one of the rifle players that does get knocked out of here. Phelps is going to be challenged in a second for the tanker train. He holds, but he's hit down to 46 HP. Henny finding another one there too. That's Hiko getting knocked out. It's even into a 3 versus 3, and the Immortals will be on their way from the A side as they've got full control here. Also finding, finally, JDM back by the ramp there, as he was impacting in big ways earlier here. That's the op down from Team Liquid now, and all I've got to worry about here is going to be Pimp and Nitro, but Pimp incoming on a flank. They thought it was clear here, and he's going back and forth to try and check it. But at the moment, the timing is working out. Pimp now the last one alive, though. And after they take down Nitro and clear out that backside, Henny gets the read. He readjusts, finishes off Pimp, and we will see the Immortals stay in this game for a little bit longer as they pick up a 12th round.
Yeah, dangerous round from Immortals there, but Henny able to pick up 2 lurkers on Hiko and Team Mid, and then that flanker on Pimp, able to really help win that round. That kill right there was actually very, very important. Nitro being on that lower ramp, not aware that he could be seen from that train. gets knocked out as well. And now we see another op setup, a double op setup by Immortals. And 12 to 15. Not sure what Liquid's economy is at, though. They're going to have to save anytime soon. Looks like they'll probably buy one more, even if they lose this one. But Immortals trying to come back and force it into overtime.
Zeus is going to press himself forward here, too. He just goes right for it, and it works. He gets that first kill. Bails away before we are able to see JDM get in a position to trade him out there on the railing outside of the white holes. So Liquid still remain at a deficit here in the early round, and we'll look to make up for it as JDM sneaks down a little bit here to try and pick up the kill onto Zeus. He's going to fall back a bit, but however, after actually losing one of their teammates over here, they're going to just rotate everybody over to the box halls and try to go for an all-in hit. Molotovs and everything that they can toss out. Actually pretty light on utility, to be completely honest here. Liege moving in. No, they don't expect anyone from upper, and there's no one covering it. So he's able to freely walk out and take down Zeus. Molotovs in the back. Players are dodging death here. Liege able to jump behind that tanker train just before he's found in the open. They'll get the bomb on the ground, no problem. And JDM is impacting again here, finding Phelps further towards the back of the site here. They've got good control. Despite the fact that Pimp and Liege have been damaged here, it's not looking good at all for the Immortals side. 2 kills from Pimp, and now it's going to be Lucas all in his own here. He picks up a fast frag onto Pimp, and he takes up a second one too. It goes into a 1 versus 2, so Lucas may not be knocked out of this one just yet, but as he shifts up, it's another battle versus a Liege, and that's where it's going to close itself out. Team Liquid with a resounding comeback. Start off the map down 7-0 and bring it back to end it, I believe, 16 to like 12 or 13 is going to be the final scoreline there. So they'll take that one, and the record will continue to rise. 12 was the final scoreline for Immortals.
Yeah, only able to pick up, I believe, 4 rounds on their CT side. And I'm telling you, the round that was the most important round to talk about of that half was when Liquid rushes out team mid with 3,700 each on every one of their members and comes out and just takes those initial battles, wins it, able to win that round, and reset economy for Immortals and take it from there.
All right, guys. Well, we have the analysts waiting for us over at the Xfinity Zone to talk a little bit more about that match. So let's send it over to them.
Yes, thank you guys. Big win for Team Liquid Ryu, and they're gonna move to 12-9. And keep in mind that if they are able to maybe win another map here, that could secure their way into the finals there. Because listen, they're playing Splice and Selfless. That's the remaining matches there for Team Liquid. Definitely
2 losses against Selfless, you would imagine. I like to think a little optimistically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that was a huge win. I hope that they can carry that same level of momentum. Obviously got off to a very, very bad start. They actually had, I think, maybe it was the 4th or 5th round that they probably should have won. They had a 2v1 against Zeus. Zeus long range spraying. One of the players ran behind his teammate. They both died. And in a 2v1, I think there's any team in the world would say, I'll take a 2v1 with bomb down, basically either side, because you know if you play it right, statistically you're going to come out on top. So they just had just a couple of unfortunate happenings early, but they hung tough, and this is not what we've seen from Liquid Online so far this season, so it was really good to see that.
Yeah, and then like you said, Liquid bad start, Immortals hot start. It was a 7-0 lead for them, but round 6 was a 2v4 that Liquid pretty much threw away, and Immortals ended up clutching, as you can see here in our replay.
Yeah, and this might be that round. Yeah, I think this is the round, because Zeus gets a kill, plants the bomb, and then Bolts gets the kill on the guy on the top of the train here. And then it ends up with this. This is the long-range spray that Zeus ends up having in a 2v1 to close it. So just unfortunate, just kind of the players lining up. And the guy in the back is the one that kind of, made that possible in terms of making the mistake of lining up right behind his teammate. You don't know what the angle is that he's taking fire from, so you can't really blame him for it. It's just an unfortunate thing. There's actually a lot of collateral and double kills in that. But that's just so early in. And when you go down 7-0 and your CT side train, it takes some mental toughness to stay in that, to stay focused, and to run it back like they did.
And then Nitro had a huge 3K in round number 9, and that's big because they're down 7-1 at this point, and also because of the pistol. I mean, JDM had that huge misplay and missed shots in the beginning, and he ended up stepping it up big, hitting his snipes at the end, but, this was all about Nitro.
Yeah, so yeah, the pistol round, it was definitely the type of thing where if JDM had gotten that kill in the pistol round, they probably win the pistol round, and that score might look a little bit more like a blowout than it did. But they did, just again, a great job. And we know that the skill level is on players like Elige and Hiko and Nitro, and so we know that those guys can show us those flashes of brilliance, and it was a big round from Nitro to help kind of bring that run to fruition.
Then if my memory serves me correct, I think it was round number 23, which was, I want to get your thoughts on this force buy that came in from Immortals, because then they had to save after this. Were you in agreement with the way that they played this one?
So, yeah, so they're willing to take these risks. They take a little bit, when it comes to like risk reward, last night we talked about how Optic takes very calculated risks. They minimize the risk and they maximize the potential reward. This is something that Immortals tends to be a little bit riskier on, but they love to play. We joked about it in pregame that Zeus loves the Mag 7. So there's a lot of times where he's going to have the Mag 7 and try to make a play like that. And actually it was Phelps with the Mag 7 in the ladder that kind of lost them that round. I don't know how that shot didn't land, but there's two players that come down, and he has a chance in that position to kind of readdress the second one. If he gets those kills and holds the ladder, even if he gets one, there's a pretty good chance Immortals wins that round. Shot whiffed, and they ended up losing it.
I know that you missed the telestrator, so will you please do us the pleasure
Super excited for this.
of breaking this down for us? I would like to see a Kappa at the end and possibly a golden Kappa going on in the chat.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll see if I can make it happen.
Please do.
Clear the screen here. We actually have some pretty dank new emotes, and I promised that I was going to drop a dank, so feel pretty good about that right out of the gate. So what makes this execute just a little bit different than the ones that we've seen? So it's kind of like the standard 3 smokes that we're all accustomed to seeing on this map. There's actually a 4th smoke, and the idea being it just allows for the T's. So there's actually 2 T's trying to come down the ladder. We've got 2 T's coming out. I actually might have been 3, and I think this guy in the back here is JDM, and he's going to hold, kind of hold for the post plant with the op. But it was really the CT here that lost them the round. Because of where he's playing, he has the option to kind of like to come back. I think Daze actually even mentioned it. He can step out if they flash down, but he actually pushes up close to the smoke, which is just good Counter-Strike fundamentals, especially CT side, lets a player go past him, but then completely whiffs with the Mag 7. And because of that, you saw like the rotate coming in from, I think, it was Zeus with the Mag 7 coming in from all the way over here. He's got a Mag 7. There's just not enough that's going to happen. The bomb gets planted. That's right, we have a bomb emote now. Bam, that's a big bomb. And you're not going to be able to retake this. You're not going to be able to retake that site with a Mag 7 that late. But if Phelps gets that first kill, even if he gets like that second kill, if he gets the second kill, I think they win that round. If he gets that first kill and gets traded out, it's a little bit more palatable because it changes the way the T's can position themselves. They were actually holding the ladder. They had 2 people watching it. One of them may not be alive. The op's probably going to be holding for someone coming out of connector. They have a better chance to retake it. But I would love to see that in a demo in slow motion because the shot looked straight on. We were talking about how Zeus is really good with the Mag 7. It's like his best gun. That's like the shot. If it was Zeus and ladder, I think they win that round, as weird as that sounds. Phelps is a way better individual player, more firepower. I just don't know if he knows how to use the Mag 7 the same way Zeus does. It's super weird, but it obviously had a huge impact on the outcome of that match.
I just want to know, where's the Kappa, man? You promised me a Kappa, and there's not a Kappa over there.
I promised the Bears that I was going to say the word dank, and I went right in and dropped a dank. So I feel pretty good.
All right, so real quick. So, Liquid, we weren't expecting them to win this game. Do you think that they can walk away 2-0 here from Immortals?
I think so. Lucas was really struggling in that one. If he continues to struggle and Liquid takes that momentum into this next map, they ready up, they get going pretty quickly, I think we could have a 2-0 for Liquid.
All right, guys, we're going to find out really shortly, but I want to give a shout out to thescoreesports.com. Go on, take out your phone, iOS or Android device in the Google Play App Store. Check it out. It is the best place for news and stats. And again, we have the second map going on between Team Liquid and Immortals after the break.